Hey there, Epic Investor. It's Matt from Epic Real Estate, where we show people how to invest in real estate with an emphasis on retiring early. And today, we're going to talk about this right here. This is a $500,000 check that an REIA student just earned. And we're going to go over in detail on how he did it, just so you can essentially copy what he did. You got our permission to steal it and go out and use it in your market and get one of these big checks for yourself. Alrighty. So we're going to go over that. And then, if this is your first time here, I'm really glad that you found us. If you like what you hear, go make sure that you hit the subscribe button before you go. And if this is not your first time here, welcome back. And thank you for sharing this with your friends and family. You're the absolute best for doing that. Alrighty. So let's hop right into the show. I'm excited to have this conversation today. I'm excited for you to listen in on it as well. So please help me welcome to the show, Epic REIA student, Mr. Ryan Miersma. Ryan, welcome to the show.
Hey, Matt. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Good to have you back. Haven't been able to talk to you in a while, and I'm looking forward to catching up.
Yeah, I was just thinking it's been about 3.5 years now since we started. Emily and I did and got started.
That's super. Looking good, by the way. Very different than the last time I saw you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Either you found a new job or you flat out quit your old one. I don't know which one it is.
It's neither, right? This was the COVID beard.
Oh, that's the COVID beard. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, last year, and yeah.
Super. So, before we talk about this photo here of this monster of a check that you sent to me, let's back up just a little bit. What were you looking to accomplish the first time? What were you looking to accomplish just right when we met each other? What was challenging? What were you looking to overcome?
So we've got it was 6 at the time, I think, but 7 kids, and I've been in the corporate world my whole career and got to a point where I realized I just don't really have a retirement plan that I'm remotely comfortable with. And so my brother started getting into real estate investing and telling me a bit about it. And so I spent a bunch of time studying up and trying to figure out, how it all worked. And that was probably close to 1.5 years I did before I really jumped in and bought my first rental property. Did that and basically used all of our savings to do that, and did it all myself, as far as the finding the tenants and some small repairs and stuff. And it worked. We got it rented and it cash flowed. But I realized I had no way to scale up at that point. So I knew there was something missing, and so that summer I stumbled upon Epic Real Estate and got talking to you, and that's when we signed up.
Perfect. So what would it have meant to you, I guess, professionally, to have actually found that missing thing to be able to scale up your business?
It meant everything, right? So it went from, having one rental property, that I may be able to scale up to a handful by the time I reached retirement age with my career. It meant going from that to, that would supplement my retirement income maybe by a little bit. But, now I'm 3 years in and getting close to retirement, very close.
Right. And you're how old?
I'm almost 39. So 38.
39.
Yeah.
Well, that's retiring early.
Yeah, definitely. The goal is by the time I'm 40 to be able to do that. And I'm at a point where I could leave now. It's just is it the wisest thing, right? And so we're having a lot of conversations about timing and what that looks like.
Mm-hmm. So what does that mean to you then personally, now that you're being able to actually reach this goal and retire when you're 40?
My time will be freed up, right? So as I was saying, I have seven kids who are all at home, and we homeschool, and I'd really like to do a lot with them. I'd like to be able to participate more in teaching them and spending time with them, doing all sorts of fun things, but also things that are, developing skills. I'd like to get them more involved in the real estate investing and learning skills through that. We have a little kind of a mini family farm. We've started raising some animals and, doing a little bit more of that. The kids want to, we're going to start teaching them how to ski this winter and actually being able to spend time doing that. That's really tough to do right now. Just today, the kids watched some video on making maple syrup, and they came all excited. They want to make maple syrup this spring, and I'd like to do that with them.
Sure.
But again, everything takes time.
For sure. Super. So, I dug into, so we've been working together about 3.5 years now, and I dug into the archives. Let me see if I'm playing producer today as well. So let me see if I can find this real quickly. There it is. So we communicate on Voxer. It's a free app there on your phone. Oh gosh, I can barely read it. Hold on.
Yeah, I can't either.
Maybe on the desktop, it'll be bigger on the computer. I'll go through it. It says, summary of your first full year investing, although still doing this on the side while I maintain your full-time job. And I want to talk about that too, how you've been able to manage the full-time job and make this transition. So you hired a W-9 acquisition specialist who apprenticed you the majority of the year, but didn't end up working out. Okay. Hired a marketing firm to manage your pay-per-click advertising on Google. You explored different marketing strategies. You developed relationships in the community and expanded your team. 19 transactions completed in the first year, so very respectable. No silver bullet with regards to marketing style. Some deals came through paper, others through text and direct mail. Increased your passive income by $3,200 a month, and your net worth increased by $500,000. So those are the stats. Very well done. So as you broke it down here, gave me a lot of great detail, and I love this about you. The passive income, one, you added 5 rental units, two duplexes, 1 single family rental to your portfolio. Portfolio, that was a tough word for some reason. Established or estimated $1,475 a month in extra monthly cash flow. Number 2, you bought a single family home needing renovations for $40,000 and sold it on a land contract for $90,000 with $6,000 down and $1,000 a month for 16 years without doing any repairs. So that's nice. The buyer is already moving or improving the property, so I would benefit if I had to repossess and sell again. Super. Bought a single family home on 10 plus acres that needed complete overhaul and sold on land contract. Purchase price is $39,000, $42,000 from a friend at 8% interest for the purchase. I sold the property for $92,000 with a $30,000 down payment and $800 a month for 10 years. So there's your passive income plays. Your active income plays. Bought and sold a house on land contract where you made your investment back plus a few grand, and then the buyers owe you another $15,000 within 12 months. Wholesaled 4 properties for $60,000 in assignment fees between flipping and just plain old buying low and selling higher. Turned 4 properties for a profit for $90,000. 2 flips were underway at the end of 2020. One is now listed, and estimated profit will be $40,000. I bought the other with the creative financing and plan to list that flip next week for an estimated $20,000 in profit, and acquired 2 additional properties at really low prices that are still waiting for you to either do the BRRRR or flip method. So very respectable, particularly for a year that we're all plagued with a pandemic. And so, do you remember doing all of those deals?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I remember it. I was just thinking back and trying to think of when I sent that message to you. I was surprised that year ended up going quite well. I didn't necessarily have all of the restrictions. I was able to drive around and go look at houses, and nothing was preventing me from doing that. And in general, life slowed down that year, and so I tried to use that as an opportunity.
Super. So that was, you sent that on February 25th. So that was almost exactly a year ago.
Yep.
So great. So bring me up to speed. What happened in 2021? What did business look like?
Yeah, another good year. After 2020, Emily mentioned to me, "Hey, how many of these properties are you keeping and adding to your portfolio? Can we focus on that more?" And it was a good point. And so we've been trying to add more to our portfolio this year, and because of all the different ways that we finance things, I was able to do a portfolio refinance that closed a few weeks ago. And, I doing the flipping and buying and renovating and holding properties. I never had any of these properties appraised, and so it was always based on, well, what do you think these are worth, right? And so I had an idea on paper, and then when I went and did that transaction, the valuation across the board was higher, and so I was able to the properties that were included there, valued at, I can't remember, like 1.8 million or something, and I was able to pull a bunch of equity back out. And now that's money that we can redeploy to continue to build our portfolio at an accelerated pace. So I think I mentioned to you, Matt, the other day, I've got a 7-unit apartment complex now under contract, so that'll add a good amount of cash flow as well.
Sweet. So let's back up just a little bit, because I titled this this video, "What is a cash out refinance?" And so, kind of walk us through it, of what the process was. You went out and you acquired a bunch of properties, right?
Yep.
And you bought a bunch of them at a discount, so they already had equity in place. And then,
So when
yeah,
when
go
you
ahead.
buy a house, right? I mean, if you use a bank for that purchase, they're going to give you 75 or 80% of the purchase price as a loan. But if you then add value to that property, or even if you didn't do anything to the property, but you actually bought it for a discount, the bank doesn't recognize that when you buy it,
Right.
right? So you have to go through a seasoning period, which is usually 6 months. And after that point, a bank will finance it based on its appraised value. And so more than 6 months had gone by, for those properties, and so I worked with the bank, and they went out and had each of them appraised, and based on the appraised value, they were able to give me, is about 70% loan to value on the entire portfolio, and because based on the appraised value, I had, more than, I was probably 2/3 of it was equity. I was able to get a lot of that equity back at the closing table.
Right. And that's what this check is, right?
That's what that check is. Yeah.
Perfect. So you bought the properties with equity in them. You fixed some of them up and increased equity. And then we just went through basically 2 years of unprecedented appreciation. Maybe not unprecedented, but it certainly worked. The timing worked in your favor.
Yep. It did. Yeah.
Right. So we built equity in 3 different ways. You pulled this cash out. And what's really nice about this is a $500,000 check, and it's all tax free, because it's a loan, and the bank, or excuse me, the IRS does not tax borrowed money. And so now we've got this giant chunk of cash that we get to redeploy, and then without selling all the assets, without experiencing any capital gains. And I imagine you refinance in a way that all of those properties are still cash flowing. Is that accurate?
They're still cash flowing. Yeah. And, when you refinance and pull equity out, that usually means that your payment is going to go up. So overall, it did go up a little bit, but all of the properties still cash flow. And so, yeah, now that money can help me buy more cash flow, right?
Super. Do you have leases coming up anytime soon?
The what?
Do you have any leases on your rental properties coming up anytime soon?
Yeah, I mean, they're all spread out throughout the year. Yeah.
Cool.
So that's a
Yeah,
constant.
what a lot of landlords don't recognize is that they were so distracted by watching their properties appreciate that nationally rents went up like 23%.
Mm-hmm.
And that is like something that we haven't experienced in a really long time as landlords. Not anything significant like that. Each time you roll over a tenant, maybe you can add an extra 25, $50. But gosh, right here in Las Vegas, rents went up 43%. And so we can't wait till our leases expire.
Wow. Yeah, rents didn't go up that much here, but yeah, certainly, at least 10%, sometimes more, depending on the property. Yeah, that's been a good thing.
Super. So let me know, and you kind of touched on a little bit. Let's just kind of wrap it up. What does the future look like for you right now?
So the future looks like um, continuing to increase our passive income. One of my goals has been, to leave my career job. I don't want to get myself in trouble here. Sometime before I'm 65, probably quite a bit before then.
Got
And
it.
yeah, so we're getting very close to being able to do that, and that's where um, I'm I'm just talking to other people that I know that are kind of in the same situation, and just trying to think through all of the different angles of what that looks like, with my business and with my family and my routines. There's just a lot to think about.
For sure. How are you imagining that's going to make you feel?
Part of me is gonna. I mean, I'm really excited about it, and part of me is, um, I'm just more of a cautious, I think, risk averse person, and so probably a little bit nervous about making a big jump like that. I've been doing the same thing somewhat for my entire career. I started working full time in IT when I was 18.
Right. Right.
So
It's going
yeah,
to be a new
it's a,
experience for sure. Awesome. Well, Ryan, congratulations. Thanks for taking time out of your day here and sharing your story. Is very inspiring. And I know you were inspiring a lot of people. Real quickly, and I kind of passed up this question. I got a little distracted. But I know there's a lot of people out there looking to make this transition from corporate America to becoming full-time real estate investor and really kind of being in charge of their own finances and in charge of their schedule and their day. Any tips for them on people that are kind of challenged with time and got that full-time corporate job?
yeah. I mean, the beauty here is this is something that you can do on the side. I had a full time job when we jumped into this with Matt and Epic, and um, I was at that time traveling most weeks, um, and you can do it. You just need to learn how to leverage your downtime, and build your team. It doesn't need to mean that you hire people, but I think that's one of the big things that I've learned is you're leveraging other people's something for as much as possible, right? Whether it's other people's money, other people's time, and resources, not taking advantage of them, but as part
Sure.
of your team and your strategy, in a way that benefits them and benefits you. Um, and you can do just about everything remote nowadays. And I know there are a lot of people that invest solely in markets where they don't live. I think I started out in the market where I live, and that's continues to be where I invest, and I'm most comfortable. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, certainly a doable thing.
For sure. If you want it, then you go out and get it, right?
Yeah, that's right, Mark. And one of the things you taught us right away is, I remember using the sheet that you gave us to track your activities, and are you doing consistently? Are you doing the right things that are going to work, um, help you to actually produce results?
Right.
Um, and I was actually just talking to a young investor about that this past week, that is wanting to get into investing. And you can keep yourself busy. You can work on your website 24 hours a day if you want, but that's not going to help you to find an off-market deal. Um,
Right.
so you just got to focus on consistently doing those money-making activities.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, again, Ryan, thanks for sharing and I appreciate you. I know I'm going to see you here in a month or so. I'm going to start mapping out what this transition looks like for you. And I'm looking forward to seeing you again and hanging out. And I'll talk to you soon.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me.
You bet. Take care, Ryan.
Yep, you too.
Alrighty, so if you'd like to go deeper into your own real estate investing and potentially work with me one-on-one, just like Ryan did, you can go to reiace.com. You answer a few questions there, then you'll have the opportunity to pick a time for us to hop on the phone and brainstorm some ideas about what that would look like for you and your goals and your financial future. Alrighty, so that wraps up the show. And if you found this episode valuable, who else do you know that might too? There's a really good chance that you know someone else who would. And when their name comes to mind, please share it with them and ask them to click the subscribe button when they get here. And I'm going to take great care of them. Alrighty. So God loves you. So do I. Health, peace, blessings, and success to you. I'm Matt Terrio, living the dream. Take care.